What's up, guys? So I just thought about something. The last video that I uploaded about Project Warm Shop was about my ignition transformer, and I haven't made another video since. Hell, it's freaking the end of January. I feel really bad about that. A lot of things been going on. I've had a lot of repair jobs in here on the side I've been doing. Got a Christmas present. Check that out. Oh, can I zoom? Oh, it won't let me do it. Will it let me do it? Yeah. Mama and Dad got that for me. Pretty proud of that. Anyway, got a new flat screen up in here because the old RCA had a T-con board issue and I was tired of fighting it. So anyway, yeah, everything's good. We got the steady flow cruise control pump set up courtesy of Central Ohio Heaters. Thank you to Paul Stalder. May have mentioned him before on my last parts order, but the feed line, we got a gradual increase. They say that helps keep the air bubbles out. But it's about in the upper teens right now outside, and the wind chill is somewhere around 10. It's 60 in here. This thing makes wicked amounts of heat, and so far so good. I had one issue regarding, matter of fact, the old ignition transformer, old iron core job. It took a crap, and I really had to look hard to find a replacement. This is the old base plate. They had a bunch of spot welds, and they were really hard to see, but I managed to find all of them. Drilled them all out, popped it off, and I'll show you how it mounted to the flip top on the burner unit. So I used my old existing base plate. This is a solid state Allenson transformer, which is really popular on the waste, or not waste, but the oil burning furnaces up north. Got this from a guy in New York, and got a really good deal on it, 35 bucks. I could have replaced this with the original iron core transformer, but it would have costed me about triple the money. This was a no-brainer. These are supposed to be basically maintenance-less, and they're electronic, so they're supposed to be just as good as the iron core. Honestly, this thing weighs feather compared to the old iron core. Then I went ahead and upgraded the burn control or the oil prime, and yeah, so the only other thing that hasn't been replaced at this point electronically is the thermostat for the preheater. And actually the thermostat operates the air heater on the air side, but it's 100 watts, so it heats the entire thing. And then there's a 50 watt that's actually for the oil side on the incoming oil, but it only energizes when the oil primary has the burner unit running. Went ahead and removed the old gasket around the nozzle and used silicone because I didn't want to go find any more rope seal, just because you can see what happens to it in a pretty short amount of time. Silicone works great, and when you put like a silicone, I use dielectric grease as an anti-bonding agent on the backside. So it made a great seal. Don't have to change the damn thing ever again, because it actually has a genuine silicone seal instead of the old fiberglass rope seal, kind of bringing it up into modern technology, but doing it, homeboy redneck style. So yeah, everything is rocking up in Project Warm Shop. So I still got to make me some brackets to get some asphyxiation to the wall, just for safety purposes. Make me some brackets. I'm either going to weld or probably more than likely just screw to the casing on the actual unit. And just got the old Lincoln P170T up and going. She just fired back up again. Go ahead and show a video of this, or some footage of it, for some 1991, 1992 technology. This thing just rocks. I did relocate the photo cell because when the actual Venturi nozzle or the Venturi cap on the burner unit gets dirty, it doesn't refract light very well. So then the photocell tends to shut down the primary because it can't see the light, because the soot gets up on the stainless steel of the Venturi fins in there, and it can't refract the light. So what I did, the photocell, and I just ran it, well, you can't see in the hole, but I just ran it basically underneath where the nozzle manifold is, and it's actually sitting on the aluminum plate on the blower housing, so it has a bird's eye view of the flame. So in the event of a flame out, it actually will shut it down like it's supposed to, instead of shutting it down when there's not actually a flame out condition. It just, before, it couldn't see the flame, because I got tired of cleaning it up. Probably cleaned that up on that nozzle assembly, I don't know, probably 3 times already this winter, and I just got tired of it because it's insult to injury. It's kind of a bad design, so I just put it where I wanted it. Anyway, I keep it to spec, just like the book calls for, about 10-12 psi. When the air compressor gets down to about 115, it tends to increase on the regulator up here, but it's not a big deal. But then I've got excellent flame, super hot. It's pretty windy. Wind's blowing out of the north right now, so like I can smell my hand, and it smells really clean. I mean, it's burning super hot. I've probably burned maybe about 100 gallons thus far since October, because I keep it about 60 out here when I'm working, and then when I'm not out here, I kick the thermostat back over there on the wall to about 55 if the ambient temperatures at night are going to only be in the 30s, and then I'll kick it back to about 50 degrees if it's going to be like it is tonight, and it's going to get down to about 8. So, and of course, with the double bubble insulation, you know, it really good. I was told it was about an R6 insulating value. I'd say whoever told me that's probably pretty accurate. I think it was actually the guy that built this pole barn. It does really good. I foamed up there. Of course, I did that back last winter, but I've sealed up most of my leaks. They did a kind of a shoddy job on a few things in a few places. They got in a hurry, and I had some air leaks. Normally, from my understanding, when you do a job like this, you wrap the entire structure from one side to the other with each roll of this double bubble, and they kind of got a little janky up there. You can see where I duct taped it, and over there, and then back on the other gable. But eventually in the future, probably a couple, 3 years from now, when I get the money, I'm probably actually going to have a CNC contractor come in here and actually foam the ceiling with the high density foam, and then I might even actually do the walls. I'm not sure. But then once I get that far, I might actually break down and maybe put metal in here. I'm not sure. It's still beyond me. I kind of like the loft look, and not only for welding and stuff, it lets the gases accumulate up there. Honestly, I thought about installing a vent fan up on the gable, but now that I think about it, I'm actually just thinking about maybe making some type of ventilation, you know, with some old like duct work, you know, what I've got left over from the air conditioning job, and just hook up to my squirrel cage back there in the back and discharge it somehow. But that's all in the future. Just something to keep me safe and keep me from having to, you know, wear a damn respirator every time I want to do something. Because when I sanded on the jet ski over there, I had the blower facing out the door. Of course, I had the jet ski on its side by the window over there, and I had all the fiberglass particles blowing outside. So it definitely helps to have a plan in place for ventilation. You know, where I work at commercially, you know, we've got ventilation, so it's nice. So I understand the concept, and I'll get there someday. Just isn't going to happen right off the bat. But Project Warm Shop is definitely a success for a heater that's set outside on a trailer, on a flatbed trailer for over 15 years outside, and everything pretty much still worked. Of course, I've done upgraded with, you know, the new parts, but it puts out a god amount of heat. I mean, it's unreal how much heat this thing makes. So yeah, everything's good. And yeah, I'll try to post another video when I start getting back. Been doing some 6.0s and 6.4s. Not really a fan of either, but anyway, I'd like to have Cummins up in here for a repair job, but the Cummins has never seemed to break. So yeah, that explains a whole lot. Anyway, y'all guys take care. See y'all.